Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 11 of Celestial Journey. I see our quarry appears to still be running. We're getting plenty of stuff. I suspect our drawer is full. Indeed it is. All 16 million netherrack blocks. So I guess what we can do is we can go to the quarry in the end, or rather in the nether, and stop mining netherrack. Just kidding, I realize I can't do that because my filter module is on mod blacklist for that plants mod. So if I add netherrack to it, which is, from the vanilla Minecraft mod, I'll stop getting all vanilla ores. Whatever, I guess we'll just void the netherrack as it comes in. It appears this quarry is also almost done. It's, chunk 1014 of 10. I don't know what the last two digits are, but less than 1100, right? So this will be done pretty soon. It's doing like this corner, so we'll probably move it to that corner. And I guess I'll just keep mining up netherrack and voiding it on the other side, whatever. So anyways, the theme of today, I think, will be magic. So I have our quest book in edit mode right now so we can peek ahead, and I specifically want to get here to Offensio because Offensio is the material that gates all the spawners, the mob duplicator, the RF tool spawner, and the advanced mob spawner advanced modular machine, which in function is very similar to deep mob learning. You have like these data bottles, they're not consumed when they run, and they give these like data clusters, which you can either process further or directly like centrifuge them into resources. What really catches my eye is that the Wither one produces some premium. But there's all these other options too. Anyways, this is quite a ways away, at least by distance. I haven't looked at all the steps yet, but let's get started. We already have our blood altar and can make basic slates, so let's see about upgrading our altar to, upgrading the tiers, and we'll see how much of this entire quest tab we have to, do in the process. For starters, I want to run our ME connection over to here so that I can access our items without having to, go all the way, all 50 meters to our other terminal. Maybe it'd be worth crafting the wireless terminal thingy. Whoopsie. Wireless. The regular wireless terminal. It doesn't have crafting, but at least we can, withdraw items, do auto crafting, etc. But no biggie either way. Now that we have this here, I want to make the weak blood orb. So weak blood orb is a red diamond chunk. Bit of netherite, alright. And we just have to dunk that in the blood altar, 2000. I think we have 3000 in here. So we're good to go. Alright, so in 1 second that should turn into our weak blood orb. Right click to link it to us. Current owner, me. And the quest, a platinum sword. Alright. So from there, we can now make blank runes. We have to swap the 8 here to make our altar tier 2. So let's see about blank rune. We probably have to make more blank slates for this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. Alright, do we have any in here? 2. Just barely not enough. Alright, 8 blank runes. And do we have any form of exchanger in this pack by chance? A creative block exchanger. That's not going to do it, huh? What about like a swapping? Doesn't look like it. Oh well. I know Botania has one, but we're not in Botania. I don't even know what it's called off the top of my head. What are these wands? This one looks like it. No? It's like Shifting Crust, right? No, Shifting Crust is the one that... I don't know, whatever. Either way... Ooh, that's my hot water tank. You hear that sound? Probably. Anyways, I just have to replace these bricks by hand. And I have to remember to put that comparator back. Can I fade mine this? I hope so. Alright. My water is now boiled. Anyways, once we put these 8 blank runes down, that should upgrade our altar to tier 2. I don't know if the tooltip will say as much. I think we have to make a divination sigil before we can see that. So let's see about making that sigil. Quest complete. I'll claim rewards later. Wonder, where is the Divination Sigil quest? I guess we have to make a Hellfire Forge. Let's do that next then. One Hellfire Forge coming right up. While this crafts, I also want to mention that I upgraded our jetpack to the jet plate, which has perfect hover, which basically means you no longer slowly drop while hovering, which is nice for building. Anyways, there was a bug I encountered while crafting this. The Resonant Flux pack is supposed to to upgrade it. You're supposed to use the high tier energy cells, but here, it's easier to show you. Flux pack. It is willing for the recipe for some reason is willing to accept tier 1 energy cells at all points. So I don't think that's a script with a bug or a bug with the scripts for this pack, because these are just a vanilla recipe. So I think it's a simply jetpack's bug. Either way, I mean, I abuse the bug. Sue me. So Hellfire Forge. This, let's see. I'll put it. I don't know. I'll just put it here. We still have to make those, what are they called? Tartaric gems, I think, to hold demonic will. All right. This doesn't look too bad. We have to first get a piece of demonic will, though. And if I recall, that requires making snares. Yeah. Okay, let's get 16 of these. So you have to hit mobs with these snares until particles come off of them, and then you can kill them, and they'll drop a piece of demonic will. So I've put... Whoa, you're new. I put up a spawn blocker. Oh, where'd you go? Alright, peace out. Welcome back. Peace. He just turns invisible. You can see his eyes. Anyways, when you throw these, there's a chance they... Oh, I have to turn particles on. Hold on. There's a chance when they... Yeah, see those white particles? That means it works. But if you have particles off, obviously you don't see them. Anyways, is that at least quality 1? Good enough. Particles and be off again. Anyways, I was saying I put one of these aversion obelisks up here in our base to prevent Cyclops and Goblins from spawning. Goblins are like the things that disguise themselves as grass. So I mean, I suppose I should add like zombies and creepers to it too. But yeah. Anyways, now that we have this, we can craft ourselves the Tartaric gem. Some petty Tartaric gem first. Redstone, coal, glass, blue dye. So the Tartaric gems are, I guess you could say, like batteries of sorts. Like soul batteries, I guess. They contain, this demonic will energy that you get from killing mobs. So, alright. Now, right now, in order to get will, we have to tag mobs with, will you stop shooting me? With these snares first, and then afterwards kill them. That's kind of a hassle, right? So if we make a... Alright, you know what? Screw you. Die. Alright, if we make a... There's a sword we can make. I forget what it's called. Is it the Bound Blade? That's the tier 2 sword. Yeah, here we go. Oh no, this is the tier 2 sword. So I want the sentient. Sentient sword. Alright, so this is made in a Hellfire Forge with a petty Tartaric gem and an iron sword. I foolishly put my will into my gem, so I guess I need one more demon will. So the advantage of using the bound sword or the sentient sword is that it can drop demonic wills without having to tag the mobs first. So let's well, if we have Tartaric gems in our inventory, instead of dropping the wills in item form, it just adds them directly to our gems. So let's see, let's eat first to top ourselves off. And I believe the trick is if you put the sword in your main hand and your gun in your offhand, you can kill things with the gun and get the effect of the sword. So 1.38. Come on, die. Yeah, 3.38. So we got 2 will off that. So I'm going to take some time going around killing things. Now that it's daytime, I wonder... I'm sure I can still find plenty of mobs. Alright, it works out pretty well to just come to the end and start killing these Ender Watchers. Or, I mean, I guess you can kill anything here. But the Watchers are nice because you one-shot them and they don't fight back if you one-shot them. But I'm just going to go for a while and fill our 2 gems up. Because we're going to need some filled Tartaric gems coming up, I expect. Next up, now that we've filled these, is that we can upgrade our petty gems into the next tier, which is like a bigger battery. So I think it's lesser. Let's upgrade a couple of these. And it drains some of the will to do so, so you have to micromanage your will and your crystals a little bit just by combining them and stuff. No, that's not the crystal I wanted you to go. Come on. Anyways, next up we craft Arcane Ashes, which is one of the crafting mechanics in Blood Magic, and we'll use that, oh boy, lots of options, to craft the Divination Sigil, which I think uses a blank slate. Let's see, Divination Sigil, blank slate. Alright, let's grab one of those too. Oh, do we have any? Last one. Perfect. Alright, so the way we use this is you just take it, right click on the ground to get a circle, and then right click the slate on it. I skipped a step. Divination Sigil. And you need to right click a piece of redstone. I suspect we'll have to automate this process eventually, but for now doing it manually. Oh, I think I did it in the wrong order. Can I get my stuff back? Shift right click. Okay, you can just break it with your pickaxe. Anyways, do that again. So first the redstone, then the slate. And then this should give you a Divination Sigil, which I guess the Divination Sigil tells you more about like statistics about what you're looking at. So you can right click it to see the amount of LP in your blood network. You can right click it on an altar or just while you're holding it, the tooltip for the altar will say it's tier, whereas without it, it doesn't. So with a tier 2 altar, we can craft the next tier blood orb, and we can also craft the next tier slates. So reinforced slates are just made by leaving the blank slate in the altar a little bit longer. It absorbs a bit more LP and turns into a reinforced slate. And that's the trend for each of these tiers going forward now. The tier 3, tier 4 is, the same process. Anyways, first I made the tier 2 blood orb. It increases the maximum amount of life essence we can hold in our network, and there's some recipes that require a minimum, tier 2 blood orb. So, let's see where that leads us. That unlocks the Alchemy Table. This is where I wanted to get. The Alchemy Table is a crafting mechanic that's used thoroughly in this pack. Basically, you input various things, and it consumes a little bit of LP out of your blood orb in the process, and it will output, these various materials. This fire seeds. All right. Anyways, this crafting mechanic is what will eventually be used to make the Offensio. So if you see Offensio uses Advanced Stimulant, which is made in an Alchemy Table, which uses Simple Stimulant, which is made in an Alchemy Table. So we're going to have to automate the Alchemy Table basically right away. So let's start by making a handful of these. The recipe doesn't look that bad. I've actually never used the 112 version of the Alchemy Table, so we get to learn how it works together. I assume the blood orb goes here, and the input ingredients take these 6 slots. Not quite sure what that is. The recipe slot doesn't... Oh, is that the output? No, output's probably here. I don't know what that slot is for. Anyways, Simple Stimulant is the first item I want to make. And Oh, bronze dust, not bronze ingots. Let's pulverize these real quick. All right, try that with dust. All right, there we go. And I guess it just starts crafting. The recipe for this. So it says it uses 400 LP to craft, and I suspect that's why it only crafted one. If we check our life network, yeah, we only have 200 LP right now. So if, let's see, how can I get a bit more LP? If I go ahead and grab our weak blood orb, you know what, let's make another tier 2 blood orb. So fill this up, put you here, eat. So I think as long as we have more than 400 LP in our blood network, that will continue to craft. All right, so bind this to us, and I think each time we click it, it adds 200. But it looks like it takes 2 hearts to do so. It takes a heart and a half, so it's more efficient to do it in the altar, where it takes 1 heart to get 200. Not that hearts are hard to come by. All right, so now that we've put a little bit more LP in our blood network, this should be crafting once again. Yep. And all right, so here's simple stimulants. The quest does mention you will need a lot of these, and that's no joke. If I seem to recall in Divine Journey, anyways, you needed like millions, maybe tens of millions, because you need them to make these empty bases, which I already forget. Which I think Windy is one you make 1 million of. Something like that. Anyways, you'll be making literally hundreds of thousands at the very least of simple stimulants. So we'll have to fully automate this process at some point. Right now, I'm a little bottlenecked on some resources. Let's see, especially sugar. Strangely enough, I don't have an automated sugarcane farm, which I should probably make. In any event, I'll deal with automating the collection of resources later. For now, I want to turn these simple stimulants into advanced stimulants. So that recipe uses these materials, and I think this is a sufficient blood orb. So first thing I want to check is, do I have to split the stimulants into 2 stacks? And it appears the answer is yes. All right, good to know. Now, as it crafts, we can also note that this takes 2,000 LP per, so it should quite quickly drain our life network. We have just under 10,000 there, and after it crafts a few more, we'll probably be at 0. So you can see, since we'll be crafting a bunch of these stimulants, among other things, in the alchemy table, we'll need some way to automatically refill our life network. Once we get an altar that can automatically produce life essence, then we'll probably have to dedicate an entire altar to full-time be refilling our life network. You know, basically it'll always have our blood orb in there. So in this pack, I foresee we'll have at a bare minimum 3 altars. 1 to generate life essence, 1 for crafting, likely 1 or more for crafting, and 1 for keeping our blood orb full. All right, so let's I'll let this 8th one craft and we can complete the quest. Right now, I'm not working on automation because a lot of this will be much easier to automate once we have mob spawners, right? A lot of these material, well, I guess not so much this one. Does Netherwart drop from any mobs? Looks like it. But a lot of the stuff like the, you know, gunpowder, hell, even sugar, we can just use a witch farm, right? It's not a very common drop, but anyways, I want mob spawners is my point. So to get Offensio, we need to make Ambustio. Right? How does this look? Yikes. Okay, so I just used all my simple stimulants. Oh no, I didn't. They're still in here. Haha. Alright, so let's craft some of that. So this recipe is a little interesting and different insofar as it uses a lava bucket, and I suspect the bucket's left over when we're done. Let's actually... Oh, hold on. I just put the lava bucket in there. It started crafting something. What does it craft into? Just a lava bucket becomes 8 sulfur. Alright, so that's something we have to keep in mind. The order that we put materials in matters. We can't just leave a bucket hanging out, otherwise we'll end up accidentally making sulfur. What's the last material? 1 of these. So I first want to see if the bucket gets left behind, and I suspect it does. Okay. Second, how can I extract these items? Do hoppers work underneath? That grabbed the Bustio, but nothing has grabbed the bucket so far. Alright, let's try item conduits. And I'm hoping that, I guess in an ideal world, each side will extract from one of the slots. So you see how there's 6 slots and there's 6 sides to the table. To make automation the absolute simplest, I'm hoping that... Alright, so that was able to extract from that slot. Will it extract from this slot as well? So it looks like all 6 slots are insert and exportable from the same side. And I wonder, can I do it from any side? So let's try. We're doing some science here. Live science. We'll turn you off. Items here. Right. So yeah, it looks like all the input slots are accessible from any side, and the output slots are accessible from the bottom. All right. I can work with that. Actually, I wonder, is the output accessible from the side as well? Let's make another one of these to find out. Alright, so here's a second Ambustio. If I turn this extract on, it will only extract from the inputs. Good to know. So it looks like the outputs can only be extracted at the bottom. Can they be extracted at the top? Nope, only the bottom. Just so I'm 100% sure. Alright, perfect. So inputs go in the sides, output comes out the bottom. Oh, looks like the top extracted the blood orb, I think. Let's double check that. Blood orb, extract brown, yeah. Okay, so if we need to automate the blood orb for whatever reason, we can do so via the top slot. I still don't know what this slot is. Anyways, with Ambustio in hand, the last step is to turn this into Offensio. And one more experiment. The recipe for Offensio only uses 5 slots. What happens if I fill up all 6? Looks like it won't craft. Oh, we're probably actually just short on... our blood orb is not high enough tier. That's a problem. It needs a tier 3 blood orb, and we only have tier 2. Alright, so let's... I'll have to make a... Right now our altar is only tier 2. I'll have to upgrade the altar to tier 3 before we can do that then. One thing I am curious about, the Sacrificial Dagger has an upgrade, which is the Glass Sacrificial Dagger. I don't know if my blood orb's high enough tier, but we'll try it. And I'm hoping that... I think what it does is it makes you bleed when you use it, but in return you get more overall blood. So we're at 3,200. It takes 2 hearts and applies a bleeding 2 debuff, but it gave almost 1,000 LP, whereas... Well, here, let's start from full health. Alright, so at full health, 4116. So it gives 500 for 2 hearts as opposed to 400 for 2 hearts. And I didn't bleed. I think the more you click it, the worse your bleeding gets. But yeah, I think each bleed tick also adds a little bit of blood. It's tough to see exactly how much. That didn't look like much. You know what? Let's try this. If I break the altar, that should empty it, right? And then I can put it back down. And we'll click once to see how much we get. From 0. Oh, but now it's draining filling the altar's internal tank. Dang it. Never this easy to measure, is it? Right. Let's try that again. So the altar is empty. Its internal tank is, like the transfer tank is full. I emptied it by putting my blood orb in there. And click once. We did not get bleeding, but we got exactly 500. Let's empty that out again. But yeah, it seems like you only get a chance to get the bleeding debuff. That time we did get bleeding, and for the 1.5 hearts we bled, we got an extra 250. So the point is, it's basically the same effectiveness overall, except you get some bleeding, and if you click too fast, I guess the bleeding doesn't stack? I don't know. The bleeding doesn't seem like it'll kill me. But it takes less clicks to fill it, so whatever, I'll take it. Cool. Anyways, I'm going to turn this back on and let it make, let's see, how many do I need? 20 more blank slates, so I need 40 or 20 more blank runes, blood runes, and that means I need 40 more blank slates. 20 more blank runes in hand. Let's upgrade our altar. Now, for each altar tier above tier 3, we need altars that are capped with a certain block. For tier 3, it just happens to be glowstone, so I already have it. But as you get higher than that, I think tier 4 requires like a bloodstone brick or something. But to find the documentation on that, if you don't know it off the top of your head, I think you can make this book. But I don't need it right now. So anyways, will I regret it if I main mine this? I don't think so. Huzzah. Alright, so let's put our runes down. Leave the night away. Is that right? Now our altar should be tier 3. Would you look at that? It is. What is the material for the tier 3 blood orb? Let's see, tier 3 blood orb. Magician's blood orb needs an ice stone. Well, I guess we're going to Iceka. The Iceka, whatever it's called, portal is made just like another portal, but out of snow. I hope this won't melt or anything. And then you light it with a snow globe, which is a pretty simple recipe. Alright, time to go. Do I have to hold shift? Portal, please? Hello? There we go. Welcome to Iceka. Let's mark our portal. So once we're here, the quest wants us to grab some frozen stone. Jeez. Obsidian level grass? I guess it's frozen. Alright, I think the stone is just used in place of end stone when crafting, here it is. Alright, when crafting the slates, but maybe it has some other uses. Anyways, our main reason for coming here wasn't the stone, but to get the ice stone from killing mobs, killing the frost and glaceon. And I think those are these little floating thingies, I expect. Come on. Can I shoot you, please? Yeah, it looks like that dropped it. Alright, so, oh cool, we also get blizzes here. So if we have to get blizz rods, we can kill these as well. Alright, so I'm gonna hunt down those thingies for a little bit and get ourselves the ice stone. So these little huts also spawned here, and inside of them are usually some of these merchants. I don't think I care for any of their... Well, that's a lot of stuff. But anyways, I don't think I really care for any of their gear. What I am interested in, though, is can I soul vial him? Yes. And does he melt into emeralds in a smeltery? Find out. I know regular villagers melt into emeralds, so does he. He has 1,000 HP, so he'll, survive a long time. But if he melts into blood, that's not very useful. Yeah, it looks like he's melting into blood. Alright, that's a shame. I suppose we'll let you out of the smeltery then. He still is useful insofar as with this much HP, you can spawn them for the blood magic rituals, like the Well of Suffering, and he'll effectively, he'll die eventually, but they last a very long time. Anyways, let's put all this away. We can now turn these into stones. And if we need more, which I think we will, we can make a mob spawner for it later. So these stones can now 2,500 LP to make a Magician's Blood Orb. Our thing only holds 10,000 though, so we either have to make 15,000 LP while it's crafting, or increase the capacity. I think if I just get enough hearts, I can keep filling it as we craft. Let me check how long the crafting is for. 20 a tick, yeah. I can definitely fill it faster than 20 a tick. So let's start with a filled altar. Oopsie, you off. Normally, what you're supposed to do is make runes of capacity something. More here. Yeah, you're supposed to make these runes of capacity, which increase your blood altar's total capacity. But I find it easier just to, poke yourself with a dagger while you're crafting. All right, so one full altar, put the stone in, and then just keep poking myself as we go. A bunch of bleeding later, and a Magician's Blood Orb. So let's complete the quest for it first. Huzzah. These quest rewards are mostly turning out to be like, thanks for 6 Solarium. I'll add it to my pile of 2,000 that's created automatically. Thanks for your 4 dark steel. But whatever, let's go make that Offensio now so that we can make spawners. So replace you with that. Now the question is, alright, so it's still not crafting, but if I take this, I don't think there's enough blood in my network. Alright, 1 second. A bit more bleeding coming up. Alright, that should put enough in. So we're making, let's see, Offensio takes 2,000. Where's my Divination Sigil? This bag has become the bag of stuff I use often, but now it's so full I can't find anything in it. There you are. Alright, well over 2,000. So, yeah, I need exact materials. Oh, I think I need to bind this to myself. Otherwise it doesn't know who to, who to take life essence from. But yes, it does look like I need exact materials, so I can't just stuff 2 enders in here, or I can't, I can't put a filler block in the slot we don't use. Okay, just something to keep in mind. So this should craft and then make 1 more. And with 2 Offensio, we can make 1 powered spawner, or all these various mob spawner options are now open to us. We just have to make a little bit more for some of these. Awesome. Well, the good news is we accomplished our goal for today. We've made Offensio. The bad news is almost every step along the way is completely manual. From manually bleeding into our altar to manually crafting all the subcomponents along the way. And that means it takes a lot of time. And time is our most valuable resource. So let's wrap this episode up here. Next time we'll come back and see what we can do to automate the process of making not just Offensio, but doing all the blood magic things. And for starters, I think that involves the getting our altar to tier 4 and making these inscription tools, especially the Dusk inscription, so that we can automate the generation of life essence. But that looks like that'll take a nice long detour into Botania. We'll have to make, all these Botania runes and yada yada yada. But that's all for that's for next episode. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.